Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Sahaviryankaravavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yeah, question. There is no here. Yes. What is the question? Yes, come. What exactly does uncertainty and insecurity mean? And what is the difference between uncertainty and insecurity? Because linguistically it may appear same, though it is not so. So the first clarification, we'll take up one by one. The first clarification, what does uncertainty and insecurity mean? Is there a difference between uncertainty and insecurity? Insecurity is a sense of fear. That is insecure. Feeling threatened. What is insecurity? Insecurity is a sense of a fear. Feeling threatened. That what is the threatening factor? That which is yours can be taken away. That which you like can be taken away. That which you don't like will come to you. This is the fear. Again, I repeat. That which you like can be taken away from you is one kind of fear. Correct? That which you don't like or don't want can come. That is another kind of fear. So fear is of two. Very okay. This is insecurity. Vandirthana, what will I do? That is insecurity. Idu pochina, what will I do? Idu vandirthana, what will I do? Both are called as insecurity. Both combined is what we call as insecurity. Uncertainty. Uncertainty is in relation to ignorance. Uncertainty is always connected to ignorance. I should go well prepared, they say, isn't it? What is preparation? Why all human being wants to prepare? What is the reason? Uncertainty. If I am well prepared, I can handle any situation. So preparation is seen as a solution to insecurity. Uncertainty, sorry. Not insecurity, uncertainty. Again, I repeat, uncertainty is the reality. The only way you can deal with uncertainty is, only way you can conquer uncertainty is when you become all-knowing. And all-knowing is never a possibility. Nobody can claim and say, I know everything. Are you able to follow? So what is uncertainty? Uncertainty is related to ignorance. What is ignorance? not knowing what's going to happen. Sir, if I can know what's going to happen, I can go well prepared, no? In fact, all planning and preparation of a human being is against this one thing. What? Uncertainty. Because if I have planned, the future is uncertain. I have made enough financial plans. Therefore, that uncertain future is certain. Yeah, investments nariya இருக்குது, properties nariya இருக்குது, isn't it? Cash also கையில இருக்குது, medical insurance also is there. Therefore, the uncertain future is, the uncertainty has gone. And how much ever you try to get rid of your uncertainty, you can never be free from uncertainty. Why? Because the only way to be free from uncertainty is to be all-knowing. If you can become an all-knower, that all-knower will know everything before itself what's going to happen. This is hypothetical case, not hypothetical. This is hallucinatory existences. So we should not even say hypothetical. This is hallucinatory existence. Are you able to follow? Therefore, all preparation is to handle that fear of ignorance. What is that ignorance? Uncertainty. Ennaavum theriyadhu sir. Prepared arunda it is better. No, it is always better to be prepared. No, it is always better to be prepared. No, more you prepare, more uncertainty, the intensity of the uncertainty goes on increasing. That doesn't mean we should not prepare or anything. What we are saying is, accept that there is uncertainty, that's all. The best laid plans of men and mice gang oft ugly. The best laid plans of men and mice gang oft ugly. Gang oft ugly means you make your plan, you do everything, isn't it? April 1st, new financial year, isn't it? All rules are changed, isn't it? So you have to sit and replan, isn't it? You thought, okay, if I buy this, I'm free from taxes. And then they say, no, you don't tax. Every year they go on adding up. Now, what will you do? Uncertainty. Are you able to follow? One way is you think you are smart. Another way is to accept life has an element of uncertainty. And I'm at peace with it. That is intellect. That's what this knowledge is supposed to give you, that strength. The strength of the knowledge, the strength of the intellect is, it will make you be at peace with uncertainty. Are you okay? This is the difference between uncertainty and insecurity. Linguistically, in some of the classes, we keep interchangeably using it. That's where you should not get stuck to the words. If you get stuck to the words, then it will be confusing. So don't get stuck to the words. Linguistically, yes. In some context, it may be the same. In some context, it will be different. And we use it in two different meanings. Uncertainty is in relation to ignorance. The second thing is insecurity, fear. You can say all can lead to fear. No, you can say. But then there are distinct, it's like saying all diseases will rise in body temperature. No, it is like that. There are specific causes for it. There are specific causes. One of the causes is insecurity, another cause is uncertainty. Yeah. Next question. You said, when you have these three, dependency, insecurity, uncertainty, you become vulnerable, susceptible. The question is, what is vulnerability and susceptibility, and vulnerable and susceptible to what? That is the second question. When you have all these three, dependency, insecurity, uncertainty, you become vulnerable. Vulnerable to what? Okay, what is vulnerability and susceptibility? Vulnerability means you have a weakness. Vulnerability means you have a weakness, isn't it? I am vulnerable to infection. It means what? I have a weakness. So vulnerability, susceptibility, and all this belongs to, all this is an indication of weakness. Weakness to what? Worry, anxiety, fear, insecurity, all forms of mental disturbances you become vulnerable to. Vulnerability means weakness. Vulnerability to what? All forms of emotional disturbances. All kinds of emotional disturbances you become vulnerable to. You follow? People believe that it is an external situation that is causing them. It is an external situation that is causing them this emotional disturbance. Vedanta comes and says, external situation can never cause. You being vulnerable is the cause. Because external situation can never be changed. It will remain the same. But you can become strong. So vulnerability is susceptibility to what? Vulnerability, susceptibility to all forms of emotional disturbances. What are the emotional disturbances? Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, Bhaya, Dvesha. That is one kind of emotional disturbance. Another kind of emotional disturbance is addiction. You become vulnerable to everything. You follow? Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, Bhaya, Dvesha. These are all disturbances on the negative side of worry, anxiety, etc. And then there is another thing also. You can get addicted to something. Vulnerability. All this is what is called vulnerability. Isn't it? You follow? This is the difference between what is vulnerability and, to emphasize it, vulnerability and susceptibility are used again. But vulnerability to what? Susceptible to what? All forms of mental disturbances. Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha Dukkha Doshanudarshanam. Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha Dukkha Dosha Anudarshanam. Knowledge is that which will help you to see the dukkha in everything and the dosha in everything. Dukkha dosha anuvartanam, he says. Anuvartanam means you are able to see it very clearly. What is the clarity you develop? The dukkha in everything, the dosha in everything. Dukkha means the pain, dosha means the defect. Are you able to follow? This is the vulnerability. Now, you will not be able to see it is a vulnerability. Where there is dukkha and dosha, you will not see it. That is vulnerability. Next question. All problems are self-created, and only self-created problems can bring in your own solution. Please explain what is the meaning of self-created, how problems are self-created, how self-created problems alone can bring in its own solution. Statement. All problems are self-created. Statement number one. Statement number two. Only self-created problems you can bring in your solutions. If problem is going to be created by somebody else, how can you bring in a solution? This is statement number two. Now elaborate this. What is the meaning of self-created? How problems are self-created? One and the same. How self-created problems can bring its own solution. Self-created means, it's a very straightforward sentence. Self-created means you are the, self means you. You are the creator. How do you create it? How problems are self-created? How problems are self-created? How do we go and create our own problems? That which isn't there, you see. That which is not there, you see. What is there, you don't see. What is not there, you see. This is how all problems are self-created. Again, I repeat. How problems are self-created? What is not there, you see. Srikanth. What is there, you don't see. இருக்கிறது பார்க்கறது இல்ல, இல்லாதத கற்பனை பண்றது. Imagine. This is the root of, this is how problems are self-created. If this is the reason for all the problems, then what is the solution? If this is the reason for all the problems, then what is the solution? In Vedanta, solution is very easy. Diagnosis of the problem and accepting the diagnosis is the major problem, is the challenge. Solution is very easy. What is the solution? Develop the right knowledge, learn to see it rightly. Learn to see it right, because since it is a wrong perception that is creating the problem, what is the solution? Develop the right perception, develop the right knowledge. Are you able to follow? The logic is, if your state of mind is not dependent on you, if your state of mind is dependent on anything other than you, if your state of mind is dependent on anything other than you, what will be the state of your mind forever? Always agitated, disturbed, worried. Why? Because the nature of the situations, the nature of beings that you associate with is what? Constantly changing. And all that constantly changes, what happens? It brings its own pain and suffering. Why? Because what is bound to change, you don't want it to change. That is the problem. What is bound to change, you don't want it to be changed. You don't want that to happen. Are you able to follow? Through knowledge and understanding, you develop what? The nature of the situation is like that. I need to see it rightly. Then solution is coming. If external world can create problems, world will continue to keep creating problems forever. How much ever you study Vedanta, grow and all that. No. Then what are we doing? Only if it is, only if you can bring in your own, only if a change, only if an internal change can bring about a permanent solution, you have freedom from self-created problems. That is why we always say life creates situations. Life doesn't create problems. Life creates situations. Your ability to handle it or not handle it alone, you will call it as a problem. Life doesn't create problems. It is a solution. It is a situation that keeps happening again and again and again. And you can never avoid creating the situations. That keeps happening by itself. That is the nature of the world. What can you do? You can remain unaffected. That possibility is there. Changing the situation is not possible, but you remaining unaffected by the changing situation is possible. So what is self-created here? The wrong notions that you have developed about life is self-created problems. The wrong notions that you have developed about life is the source of self-created problems. Now, have the right notions about life, it will be all right. Have the right notions about life. Have the right knowledge about life. Have the right knowledge about life. You develop your wrong notions, develop the right knowledge about life. That is how you get freedom from self-created problems. Is it okay? Next question. What does Shastra mean? And what are the various factors that combines together to call it as Shastra that makes it a Shastra? Shastra means law. Shastra means a law. Sasanat iti Shastra. This is the root. This is the definition of the word Shastra. That which tells us the law of life. That which explains what life is the Shastra. Second definition of Shastra is developing this understanding will take time. It doesn't happen overnight. It will take time. Till you mature into that understanding, it protects you by giving some commandments on what you should do and what you should not do. This is Shastra. Are you able to follow? First is, it talks about what life is. First is, it talks about what life is. And then it talks about what? Since it takes some time for you to understand this, in between, you should be protected. Because till you develop understanding, you will be in action. Because you are ignorant by nature, invariably you will be doing the wrong actions, the wrong choices, adharma. Wrong choices, wrong actions in Shastric terminology is called adharma. So what happens? So you will be in adharma. Therefore, what do they do? They keep telling you what to do, what not to do, Therefore, obeying that commandments and living a life based on those commandments and understanding to and making an effort to understand the laws of life is what is known as an ideal life. And Shastra prescribes this ideal life. This is called Shastra. Are you able to follow? Ye Shastram Vidimutsrajya, he says in the Bhagavad Gita. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. All Bhagavad Gita only. Shankaracharya was leaving. After doing all the work and everything, he is leaving because everybody has to depart. No. So he was departing. All the Sishyas were crying and telling him, so much of commentaries you wrote, so much of slokas you wrote, so much of this you did. Give us some parting practical advice. Give us some parting practical advice. And he gave only one advice. Vedaha nityam adiyatam. He said, study the Vedas every day. Without practical, nothing else. So study the Vedas every day. Vedo nityam adiyatam. What is Shastra here? That which explains to you what life is all about is a Shastram. Second is, it is a Pramanam. Pramanam means only authoritative source of knowledge. Understand? Shastram is a Pramanam. Pramanam means only authoritative source of knowledge. That then only can be called as a Pramanam. For color and form, the Pramanam is the only authoritative source of Pramanam. The only authoritative source of knowledge, color and form is eyes. Correct? Similarly, what is life and how to live life? There is only one authoritative source of knowledge that talks about it. That is called Shastram. That is called Shastram. Sashanat iti Shastram. At one level, it explains through logic, reason, analysis. Tarka, Mimamsa, Nyaya. Logic, reason, analysis, etc. Since all this takes a lot of time to understand, number one. Number two, we don't come to Shastra as the child comes to the father, the child comes to the parents. We come to the Shastra with how does the child come to the how does the child come to the parent? That's how we should come to the Shastra. But we don't come to that like that. How does the child come to the parent? So much of trust in that, so much of Shraddha. That is why they said, when you are a child, you will have Shraddha, teach. When you are an adult, you will have only. When you are a child, you will have Shraddha. When you are an adult, you will have only. What do you have? Ego. The child has Shraddha and no ego. Adult has only ego. That is why Vedanta Shastra should never be spoken to an adult. Adult waste of time. Why? Because full of ego already. Are you able to follow? So what do? They teach it when they are young. Why? Because when you are young, there is a Shraddha. Because there is Shraddha, logic and reason can be taught easily. Commandments need not be given a lot. To an egoistic person, logic and reason and all won't work. Only commandments has to be given. Do it or God bless you, isn't it? God bless you, enna artham? Either do it. No. Unless it is convincing, I will not do. Shastra say, God bless you, isn't it? அப்படின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? Another round you are going to clear. Boxing matches break எடுக்கிற மாதிரி, isn't it? 3 minutes they will box each other and then they will go for a rest, and that rest is only for what? To come back and box again, isn't it? அதுதான் புனரப்பி ஜனனம் புனரப்பி மரணம், isn't it? You go there, get boxed, both are in pain, rest only. Abada, so much of pain uttu polam illa. They will not. They will come back only to box again. So what is Shastra? Shastra is blessings of the rishis, blessings of the God for our welfare. You follow? This is a blessings given from God for our welfare. The problem when it comes to Shastra is only this. What? Any book you follow, you should learn to follow the logic and reason of that subject. You cannot follow your own logic and reason. When you study mathematics, you have to follow the logic and reason of the way in which mathematics talks about. When you are studying physics, it has to be studied in the way within the logic and reason of that. Then only you can understand it. You bring in your own logic and reason, it can never be understood. Are you able to follow? Never bring in your own logic and reason. Follow the logic and reason that is set there. Life equals law. English, it's called law. In Sanskrit, it's called vidhi. Vidhi na fate kadiyadinga, isn't it? The word vidhi doesn't mean fate. The word vidhi means fate. The word vidhi means law. You have a choice to know, understand and follow these laws or remain ignorant. Ignorant of what? Ignorant of the law. That's all it is. This is what Shastram is all about. Put it in a formula way. Life equals laws, vidhis. LAWS, laws, vidhis. Now what happens? You have a choice to know them, understand them and follow them, or you can choose to remain ignorant, or you can choose to know them. If you choose to know them, understand them, follow them, what are the consequences? If you exercise your choice to remain ignorant, what are the consequences? It says that also. Are you able to follow? It says the law. You have a choice to understand, or they have choice to remain ignorant. What are the consequences if you choose to remain ignorant? What are the consequences if you learn and understand it and follow it? Explaining all this is called Shastra. Vedanta is the exclusive subject that deals with the laws of life. And when it deals with the law, obviously there has to be a systematic scientific design to expound and establish. All these are implied in that. Are you okay till now? Law means you have no choice but to obey, whether you understand or you don't understand. Carefully follow. Law means it has to be obeyed. You can understand and obey, or you can obey. Income tax pay பண்ணிதான் ஆகணும் is a law, isn't it? You can cry and curse and pay, or you can understand. You can cry and curse and pay, or you can pay with proper understanding, joyfully, blissfully. But nevertheless, you got to pay. Are you able to follow? Crying and paying vis-a-vis understanding and blissfully paying is better, isn't it? Okay, whether I will not pay till I understand, pending vacha, what will happen? What will happen? The price that you have to pay. Yeah. 100 ரூபாய் இருந்தா 135% fine போடுறோம்ன்றாங்க. I have only 100 rupees now. From where you can take away that 100 rupees from me is understandable. From where is that extra 35% will come from? அதுதான் நரக, isn't it? That is called naraka. Are you able to follow? Not only now you will suffer, you have ensured your future also for suffering. So suffering in the present and ensuring that you will continue to suffer in the future is the Shastra. Are you able to follow? Law means you have no choice but to obey. The difficulty is we have started the likes and dislikes, and the ego has become so powerful that we all think that we are smart enough. We all think we are so smart that we can do whatever we feel like doing and escape. Clear? Are you able to follow? That day you take tasmat shastram pramanam te karya vyavastitav. That day you mature into this understanding where you can take shastram as the pramanam. You are saved. If shastram is not the pramanam, then you are the pramanam for everything, isn't it? Are you able to follow now? Vijay, புரியுதா? இப்போ சாஸ்திரம் பிரமாணம் இல்லைன்னா then who becomes the pramanam? You become the pramanam for everything that you do. And you think you can escape. Are you able to follow? Therefore, tasmat shastram pramanam te. So that day you can understand shastram as the pramanam, you are better off. And what do this Shastra talks about? First, it will talk about the macrocosm. Then it will talk about the microcosm. Then it will talk about the goal. Then it will talk about what is the path to get to the goal. Then it will talk about what is the benefit of getting to the, what is the benefit of following it, and what is the price you pay if you are not following it. All this is the content of the Shastra. Is the content. Are you able to follow? In the technical class, they will call it as Shadlingas. 6 factors. 6 factors that talks about the 6 factors that goes into making a Shastra. It's not just a simple commandment as in do it and don't do it. When they say do it and don't, when they say do it, or when they say don't do this, your welfare is that intention. When they give a command of do's and don'ts, it is your welfare is their intention, not your, not to suffocate you, not to stifle you. Correct? The policeman standing outside can be seen as a hindrance, or the policeman can be seen with gratitude. Correct? Again, I repeat. The policeman can be seen as a hindrance. What is the hindrance? Red இருந்தா நிக்கணும்ன்ற சட்டம்லாம் ஒண்ணும் கிடையாது சார். Isn't it? Just because it is red, சட்டம்லாம் ஒண்ணும் கிடையாது. Because it is your urgency that determines, isn't it? You will sleep, oversleep, get up late, you are late, and you will break the rule எல்லாம் கிடையாது சார். Your thing. Correct? Now, the policeman is standing there waiting to catch you, isn't it? You can see the policeman as a hindrance, or you can see the policeman as your savior. You can see Shastram as a hindrance, or you can see Shastram as your savior. Are you able to follow? But nevertheless, it is a law. We never understand our welfare lies in a law. We don't understand that. We believe our welfare lies in indulgence, impulsive living. We never understand welfare lies in a law. Law means discipline. Law equals discipline. That's all, isn't it? When we say law, what does law means? Law simply means discipline. That's all, isn't it? But we don't see law as a benefactor. Why? Because law is constraining. Law is restricting. Constraining and restricting what? Your indulgent way of living. Your selfish way of living. Your selfish way of living, your indulgent way of living is what? Is constrained. Who are they to tell you what I should do, what I should not do? Don't I have the freedom? Don't I have the freedom? Ram Subramanian. Correct question. Just as you have the freedom, what you should accept it, the other also has the freedom. But the problem in life is what? When I exercise my freedom, I will not allow others to exercise their freedom. Anga the problem starts. Are you able to follow? See, if you say, I have the freedom of speech, Other also have the freedom of speech, no? Correct? No. My freedom of speech alone is correct. Others are all constrained. Everybody else should be restricted. Why? While I should be given freedom. Law says no. You will start obeying the law the moment you understand in law lies your welfare. You will start following the discipline the moment you understand in discipline lies your welfare. This is called Shastra. Are you able to follow? This is called Shastra. Sashanat iti Shastram. Sashanat iti Shastram. Not a do's and don'ts. A do's and don'ts which is backed by logic and reason. So what you should do first? What you should do first? Start following it. As you are making an attempt to understand, simultaneously what you have to do? It is said in the Shastra, therefore I follow. It is said in the Shastra, therefore I follow. You follow? The biggest complication is everybody writes their own Shastras and they say this is Shastra. That's the problem. Some grandfather told me this, some grandmother told me this. This is what we will do. There is a difference between a law and a sampradaya. Understand? Vidhi and sampradaya. There is a difference between the two. Sampradaya means a practice for a practice that is followed, a practice that can be followed for a limited period of time. Vidhi is Sanatana. Law is Sanatana. Sampradaya is not Sanatana. The difference, Puril. Are you able to follow these two words? Vidhi and Sampradaya. Sampradaya is which you follow for a particular reason, for a particular period of time, under certain circumstances. All that is called a Sampradaya. That is not the Shastra. Sanatana Shastra is eternal dharma. But what people misunderstand today is they start calling Sampradaya as Shastra. In our tradition, this is what we do, sir. In our culture, this is what we do, sir. Tradition, culture is called Sampradaya. Are you able to follow? Which is different from Sanatana, eternal. Invariably, people hold on to the Sampradaya and they start calling it as Shastra. That is why we always say, past golden, sir. Present is deterioration. Future is a disaster. Isn't it? That day you started talking about your past as better, you have become old in earth. You are an old man. Or an old woman also, unsure. Only man, women also. You are old. You are an old human being, that's all. Why? Sampradaya, that is. Past is always good, glorious. Present is deterioration. Future is disaster, sir. Shankar, இதெல்லாம் வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப்ல ஃபார்வர்ட் பண்ணினே இருந்தா, this is called Sampradaya, not Sanatana. நீங்க ஏன் சார் இந்த குரூப்புக்குள்ள வரதே இல்லை, அந்த குரூப்புக்குள்ள ஐ டோன்ட் கம் ஒன்லி, isn't it? You know the amount of discourses that I have had from Shankar, even Swamiji has not given me that much of discourses. Shankar, correct? Say yes or no. Or unmute பண்ணுங்க. Unmute him. The amount of discourses I have gotten from him. Shankar, yes or no?
நீங்க எது சொன்னாலும் கரெக்ட் சார்.
Oh, he will say, we should come up to the, you are very backward, we are not moving with the times. That group is there, that group is there. You should do this here, you should do that there. And I will say yes, and not do anything at all. Why? Clarity varum. What is the clarity? Sampradayakku, Sanatanaku clarity varum. Shastra talks about Sanatana. Application of it is Sampradaya, which will necessarily keep changing. The misunderstanding of people today is Sampradaya is misunderstood as Sanatana. Are you able to follow? Correct? The way that these kids are dressing up nowadays, sir, culture is gone. இவங்களுக்குலாம் என்ன வேதாந்தா வரும்? Okay, you wore the traditional dress. What Vedanta came to you? Are you able to follow the difference? அதுதான் சம்பிரதாயாக்கும் இதுக்கும் சனாதனாக்கும் இருக்கிற difference. Shastra says Sampradaya is utilitarian, but don't give that the Sanatana status. Only a Shastra can talk about this. Are you able to follow? This is very, very important. Otherwise, Sampradaya will be misunderstood as the Shastra, Sanatana. That's why we have two, Sanatana and Sampradaya. Vedanta talks about both. As it talks about Sanatana, out of their compassion, they give the Sampradaya that is suitable for that generation. To the next generation, they will give a different Sampradaya will be given to the next generation. To the third, it will keep changing. Both combined is called Shastra. Therefore, Shastra equals two words now. Mathematical equation enna ipo Shastramuku? Sanatana plus Sampradaya. Something will change, something will remain the same. Are you able to follow? Shastra is a beautiful combination of these two. Sanatana plus Sampradaya. Sampradaya is that which keeps changing according to culture, according to society, according to the generations, it keeps changing. That is Sampradaya. But the Sanatana doesn't change. So, Shastra is a beautiful combination of these two. In first chapter Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is worried about Sampradaya will go away, he's crying. Tradition will go, culture will go. Therefore, we should not follow Sanatana. Look at the conclusion. Look at the conclusion. Sanatana utrunu, sir. Why? Because Sampradaya is more important. Jayate Varnasankaraha, he says. This will happen, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. Therefore, we will not fight. Are you able to follow? Krishna came in with a different understanding. What is a different understanding? Sampradaya is different. Shastram is different. Vivekananda puts it very beautifully. In a very simple way, he puts it. He calls Sampradaya as kitchen religion. Sampradaya is called a kitchen religion. Kitchen religion, all religious practices is confined to what? What to cook, what not to cook. Yeah. Romba orthodox, in which vessel to cook, isn't it? Beyond that, there is no religion, there is no spirituality. Are you able to follow? Distinct and different from that is Sanatana, eternal. So understand the difference between understand this difference. Understand this difference. In Vedanta, we understand this difference. We respect the Sampradaya. Please carefully follow that. We respect the Sampradaya. We revere them. We respect them. But we also understand that will change. We respect them. We value them. We have a reverence to them. At the same time, we understand that it will change. But change of Sampradaya is not change of Sanatana. That clarity is what we should have. Otherwise, always we misunderstand. The non-essential part of it is a Sampradaya. The essential part of it is Sanatana. Essential and the non-essential. The way in which the youngsters today are, the younger generation today is, they have no values, no culture, no tradition, no nothing. Parents மரியாதையே கொடுக்க மாட்டேன்றாங்க. No respect for elders. Sanatana will say, you get what you deserve. Yeah. If you are not getting respect means, it is very simple, that you have not done anything to deserve it. Are you able to follow? This is called Shastram. In this classroom, when we talk about Shastram, we predominantly mean Sanatana, and in a very limited sense, we talk about Sampradaya. In this classroom. Understand, in this classroom, whenever we use the word Shastram, we predominantly talk about Sanatana, and wherever it is applicable, we will talk about Sampradaya. But today problem is what? No reference to Sanatana at all. Are you able to follow? But sir, this Sanatana is going down, sir. We should revive Sanatana. Shankar. Go down ஆச்சுனாலே அதுக்கு பேர் Sanatana கிடையாது. Sanatana means that which can never go down. Revival is not at all necessary. It knows how to survive itself. One human being following Sanatana in one generation is enough to keep it alive. You don't need a huge congregation to keep it alive. Sampradayathaku dhaan kootam venum, isn't it? To Sanatana, you don't need a crowd. That is why in Vedanta we say it is individual, never a group. It is individual, never a group. Are you able to follow the difference? Every generation changes, Sampradaya has to change. Illana old age people are still alive, isn't it? The law of life is the old order changes, yielding place to new. The old order changes, yielding place to new is Sampradaya. It has to change. Change of that is not going to bring about a change in Sanatana. we get so confused between it. First of all, we don't even understand there are these two, and we get completely mixed up. So wherever we talk about Shastra, remember, you are not talking Sanatana, you are talking Sampradaya. Other kuda. Able to follow? This is what I wanted to say about Shastram. Equation potukongo. Shastra equals Sanatana plus Sampradaya. Sampradaya is that which keeps changing, and it has to change. The way in which the younger generation is dressing up today. No culture, sir. No tradition, sir. Isn't it? It's a what is culture? What is tradition? What that generation follows is the culture for that generation, not for the previous. You know, all of us are so uncultural, so untraditional. If my great-grandfather were to come alive today, he will look at me and say, Eppo crop vechacho appave culture is gone, Vedanta is gone, according to that man. What culture are we, what sampradaya are we talking about? Are you able to follow? At one generation, it is having, yeah. You can, you cut it, what happened? We all have become bad now. What happened? Did Sanatana go away? At least waste yaadu kattanu sir. Next generation pant and shirt la vandanga. Illaya. Abrama pant and shirt kuda decent pant and shirt la vanda paravalla sir. Torn jeans ellam pottu varanga. Where did culture go? From cutting the hair to the short hair from the dhoti to the pant and shirt, from pant and shirt to torn jeans. No, sir. What I am following is sampradaya. That's what everybody, it boils down to that. You follow? What you are phonetically attached to becomes the law for everybody. Your fanaticism is absurd to you itself in the first place. How can it become the law for everybody else? Shastramna idhukku da meaning kudukurar. Vivekananda says, all gods and goddesses are human creation. Full stop, he says. Why? Because they all have a human figure, he says. All gods and goddesses are human creation only. Why? Because they all have human face, isn't it? Either human, isn't it? Even Ganesha will have a human body and the elephant head. Even Narasimha will have. So a human has to be there in it. Why a human has to be there in it? Because it is created by human being. Athoda he doesn't stop. He continues the discourse. That's where it is very irritating. That's where you feel like shooting him down. He continues the discussion. And how he continues the discussion? If all the buffaloes were to sit together and create a God, what will be their concept of God? He asks. The kelvi kekkradhukku or dhairiyam vaanum, isn't it? Even to think like that, you need some backbone. You need some guts. isn't it? What will be their God? What will be their God? Huge buffalo head, isn't it? He says, it will be with huge buffalo head. Normal human being will have 2 hands and God will have 4 hands, 6 hands, 12 hands, I don't know, 36 hands. எல்லாம் ஒரு mathematical equationல increase ஆகினே இருக்கும். இல்லையா, more the hands, more powerful. என்ன 2 hand ஆல less powerful, 4 hands more powerful, 36 hands see, with 2 hands, 2 hands one hand is use ஆகுது, இன்னொரு hand is not used, isn't it? That's why ambidextrous itself is very powerful, correct? Ambidextrous the person who can use both the hands, isn't it? A person who can use both the hands, ambidextrous. Imagine a person having 4 hands and can use 4 hands. Imagine a person having 36 hands and can use, one hand is cutting, another hand is drilling, another hand is doing this. Oh my God, how fast things will happen, correct? Vivekananda says, if the buffalo were to think about God, what will happen? Huge buffalo head. Normal buffalo has 4 legs in buffalo God will have. Normal human being has 2 hands. God will have 34 hands or 46 hands in human God buffalo will have 400 legs. He says, we don't make an effort to come to the Sanatana, blind leading the blind, misunderstanding the Sampradaya as Sanatana. We keep educating the others also as this is Sanatana. Are you able to follow? Do yajna karma, do sacrifice, don't hoard is Sanatana. But nobody talks about it in Sampradaya. முதல்ல நிறைய சேர்த்து வச்சுக்கணும் சார். And then what? And then follow Sanatana. Are you able to follow the difference? Now we do exactly the opposite of Sanatana, but carrying out the external things, we believe it is Shastra. The external paraphernalia is not the Shastra. What is Shastra? Be grateful. That is Shastra. Do not hoard. Do not hoard in a solradhu. Why will they? How can loan doesn't even exist in their dictionary? So they can't even say don't take loans, isn't it? It doesn't even exist in their dictionary. And today we have to say don't take loan, become unselfish, become selfless, do yajna karma, 12 yajna karma, and all that cannot be spoken about today. What are the minimum? Don't take, don't borrow. What is Sanatana and what is Sampradaya? The law that brings about a harmony is Sanatana. Wherever you do something and disharmony is created, understand that is not part of Sanatana. Are you able to understand practically now? You follow something, out of that following there is harmony, inner and outer. That is Sanatana, Shastra. You follow something, disharmony inside, disharmony outside, isn't it? In the Hindu calendar, 6 months is full of prayers and rituals. The next 6 months is relatively calm period. Correct? Relatively calm period. Yeah. In the Tamil calendar, all the festivals will start where Adi Masam vandiruchina, festivals will every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something or the other will keep coming. One of my aunts, she used to say, yo, Adi Masam vandirutha, avladhan she will say. Why? Because one of the other is going to come. Now, tremendous disharmony, pain and suffering. Now, what following it is? Are you able to follow? Opposite of that is what? Sanatana. What is Sanatana? Be considerate. Be considerate. You need not do charity and all. If you stop hoarding, that is enough, it will say. If you stop hoarding, that is enough. Are you able to follow? What is Sanatana? Gratitude. Do not hoard. Gratitude. That is Sanatana. God. There is a greater power that is shaping up everything. So, when you see God, what you should see? You should be that God that you see in a temple or a church or a mosque is a symbolic representative of a law. You don't see it like that. Do you see it like that? Again, I repeat. When you see a God or a goddess, that God or goddess is a symbolic representative of what? Of this law. The God is saying, I am the lawgiver, and I ensure that you obey the law. And if you do not obey the law, you pay the price. This is what God is. But how do we see God? How do we see God? I don't see God as law, the lawgiver, but I see God as all violations will be forgiven, isn't it? All violations will be forgiven. Violations will not be forgiven. Because he being the lawgiver and the law is given for your welfare and you violate that which is given for your welfare, should you be pardoned or should you be punished? If you are really interested in the welfare of the other, will you pardon or will you punish? What you will do? You need guts to give an answer to this. Punish. Punish. Why? That shows you are genuinely interested in the welfare of the other. By forgiving, by pardoning, what the other fellow is going to do? You forgive the fellow, you pardon the fellow, what the other fellow is going to do? Go back and do exactly the same thing again. You pardon, what the other fellow will do? Take advantage. Correct? Huh? Take advantage. Life becomes chaotic. It is Sanatana that keeps life. It is Sanatana, it is Dharma that keeps life in order. And Shastra is systematically, scientifically designed to expound and established methodologies to follow these laws. Are you able to follow now? It is scientifically designed, it is systematically expounded, and established methodologies are given for you to follow the law. So if you have to understand Shastra, to put all this in a nutshell, use the formula, mathematical formula. What is the mathematical formula? Shastra equals Sanatana plus Sampradaya. Sampradaya is bound to change. subject to change. It is change of Sampradaya is not fall of Sanatana. Change of Sampradaya is not fall of Sanatana. Why? Because Sanatana is to do with few principles. What are the principles? In relation to action, Karma Yoga. In relation to emotion, it is gratitude. In relation to knowledge, it is Nitya Anitya. That's all. Again, I repeat. In relation to action, it is Karma Yoga. In relation to emotion, it is gratitude. Yeah. Arpana Buddhi, Prasada Buddhi, Anugraha Buddhi. Arpana Buddhi, Prasada Buddhi, Anugraha Buddhi. Abro, Bhakti. What is Bhakti? Gratitude. And then comes knowledge. What is knowledge? The eternal and the ephemeral. இதெல்லாம் புரியறதுக்கு ஒரு conducive lifestyle. இதெல்லாம் புரியறதுக்கு there's a conducive lifestyle. That conducive lifestyle is Sampradaya. Are you able to follow now? That conducive lifestyle is Sampradaya, which is to make you understand this. Supposing you lead that lifestyle, and if you are not understanding this, the edifice of Sampradaya itself becomes redundant there. Why? Because Sampradaya is a conducive lifestyle. That conducive lifestyle is to understand this. But today what has happened? That itself has taken the status of Sanatana, and people have forgotten the Dharma. This is what I wanted to say about Shastra. To conclude, that's why you always find one enlightened master, what they speak about Sampradaya for one generation, the enlightened master in the next generation will come and break it. They are not breaking the Sanatana, they are breaking the fanaticism to the Sampradaya. Are you able to understand now? That's where you find one enlightened master, what they praise in one generation, another enlightened master at the later generation will come and break it. What are they breaking? What are they breaking? They are breaking the fanatic attachment to the Sampradaya, and by the fanatic attachment to Sampradaya, Sanatana is not being followed. So always attention must shift from Sampradaya to Sanatana is Shastra. But why do they talk about Sampradaya? Why the same Shastra talks about Sampradaya? Because it's a conducive lifestyle. It's a conducive environment. It's a conducive lifestyle. Conducive for Sanatana. If Sanatana is not the goal, if Sanatana is not the purpose, then it is not a conducive lifestyle, it is a mechanical lifestyle. Are you able to follow? Conducive lifestyle, when we say, conducive for what? For Sanatana. Suppose focus is Sanatana is forgotten completely. Sanatana is not at all the focus. Then that conducive lifestyle becomes a mechanical lifestyle, fanatic lifestyle. So what the enlightened master will come and do? They break the fanatic, mechanical aspect of the lifestyle, not the Sampradaya, not the Sanatana. Are you able to understand now? This is very important in understanding Shastram. You understand it like this. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te, when he says, you will accept Shastram as the Praman. You will start accepting it as the Praman. Why I said we will talk about Shastra this week, I don't remember. But anyway, this is something that has to be understood very clearly. Because we keep saying Shastram is the Pramanam, Shastram is the Pramanam, Shastram is the Pramanam. It's not a phonetic attachment to a book or a person or a teacher. It is the Sanatana. Remember, the Sanatana can never deteriorate. Dharma can never become. Dharma will never lose its. Isn't it? You follow? Glanir Bhavati Bharata, he said in chapter 4. Glanir Bhavati Bharata, Abhyuttanama Dharmasya Tadatmanam Srijamyaham. The word Glani is beautiful there. Glani na power koranja madri irugarthukku per Glani. Actually, power doesn't deteriorate at all. Dharma can never become powerless. If Dharma can lose its power, that's it. Chaos will come immediately, it will be chaotic. Remember that there is no chaos at all in life because Dharma is always Sanatana. But Glani means in people's perception, it will look like that. In people's perception, it will. Therefore, this Shastra comes and changes the perception. Don't say Dharma has fallen. Don't say Sanatana needs your support. Sanatana is there to support you. It doesn't need your support. எல்லாரும் ஒன்று சேர்ந்து குரூப்பா கோஷ்டி ஃபார்ம் பண்ணி ஒரு ஃபிளாக் கண்டுபிடிச்சிக்கிட்டு வச்சாதான் சனாதனா will be saved. Sanatana will say, if you want to deteriorate Sanatana, this is the way to deteriorate it. If you want to destroy Sanatana, form a goshti. If you want to keep Sanatana alive, what do? Individually follow Dharma. Sanatanaku political organizations la vana. Sanatanaku what is needed? To keep the Dharma alive, what is needed? One person with a backbone to follow the principles. That's what Vivekananda also said. We don't need in hundreds and thousands. We need 2-3 human beings. 2-3 human beings is enough. Having that 2-3 who has a backbone to follow these principles. So yeah, this is called Shastram. So to put all this in one sentence, understand it. Shastra equals Sanatana plus Sampradaya potu. So yeah, with this we conclude for today and we continue with chapter 5 next week. With this we
Ramasubramanian has posted it.
Ramasubramanian has posted a clarification. Sorry. No, thank you. I said, erase that, thank you. General question. Across the text being studied on Sunday, Saturday, Wednesday, trying to understand the word Pramanam in English, Tamil. Okay. Trying to understand the word Pramanam in English and Tamil. Does Pramanam means translate to field of study, instrument, dimension? Looking for a common word or phrase due to references like Shastram as Pramanam, I as Pramanam, science as Pramanam. Ramasubramanian. Pramanam means authoritative source of knowledge. Pramanam means authoritative source of knowledge, not instrument. Instrument is used to understand it. But what is Pramanam? Pramanam is knowledge that you gain. So Pramanam equals knowledge. What and why do we use the word, instead of using the word Jnanam, why do we use the word Pramanam? We use the word Pramanam because it is an authoritative source of knowledge. And by authoritative source of knowledge, we mean exclusivity. Others cannot access it. That is why we call it as Pramanam. So Pramanam means authoritative source of knowledge, or you can say exclusive authoritative source of knowledge. Pramanam means exclusive authoritative source of knowledge is called Pramanam. Instrument is Buddhi as an instrument will be used to understand the Pramanam. That's the example. What is the example we give? Color and form. What is the authoritative source of knowledge for color and form? That which is revealed by the eyes. Clear? Kannla paakaram idu pacha color avladha. Correct? The knowledge that it is green in color is given by what? The eyes. Correct? So for color, exclusive authoritative source of knowledge is the eyes. Similarly, to understand life, exclusive authoritative source of knowledge is Vedanta. Vedas. Are you able to follow? Sound ears, exclusive authoritative source of knowledge. Similarly, for life, similarly to talk about the law of life, Vedanta becomes the exclusive authoritative source of knowledge. It's called Shabda, it's called Shastra, it is called Vedanta. Pramanam means that which is there from the beginning, unchanged till the end. Always in the past, color and form, I is the source. In the present, I is the source. In the future also, I alone will be the source. That's why it's called Pramanam. From the beginning till the end, at all periods of time, there will be only one exclusive authoritative source of knowledge. That's Pramanam. Exclusive authoritative source of knowledge in the past, present, and future. This is Sanatanam in another word. Did I help you, Ram Subramanian? Very good. With this, we conclude for today.